I have a main question if you actually can hear me. This is the most important thing right now. We'll be switching into our screen very soon. It's finally time. Basically, first race was won by Julian. You could see on the starting graph. After Brett taking the pole position in Japanese Grand Prix. This time actually, I'm alone commenting, but going back to the Grand Prix of Japan. Kinda eventful race, with many action going on. Brad got a contact with, as I remember, Tam Tam, and this ruined his chance for points. We also have some debut drivers today. This means we will have new names on the grid. And anyway, welcome everyone to European Racing Organization's F1 division. Here is Wojtinho, and we are starting the qualifying session. Today I'm alone, and we have the full grid, so actually we can commentate this. The best race in terms of attendance right now. But first of all, chat, speak English, please. Um, Basically, I'm pausing the preview. I will sometimes go to you on the chat. And I think it's time to start showing the debut drivers. The first one's already out on the track, and his name is Sully, who was racing twice in season 3. Now he's back into our F1 division instantly. Next out of the debut drivers is Lucas. So after one season of break, we have Poland actually back to the F1 grid with this man, who has been pretty fast in the time tryouts. Now after Noisy has left the F1 division, he is replacing him as a full-time driver. So we have a new man on the grid. Welcome. Tobias is replacing Marco Botta today in Renault, but only as a reserve. And that's actually all. About the latest race, it was won by Julian ahead of Patrick. The third one was Loki. It was his second podium in ERO career. And I already got the question about who will win the race. I predict a battle between Yagijan, between Patrick, between Brett and Julian. These are the top 4 in my opinion. Oh, there's already a first spin of the qualifying session. It's Sully, who has spun literally by 360 degrees, and he's back on track with no front wing damage. But we'll have to let everyone by because his lap time is already messed up, and this means he'll have to wait a bit until he improves his lap. So next on the track is not Alpha Tauri, because both are out laps. It's Renault of Tobias. About the lower divisions of Australian Grand Prix, F5 race was chaotic. And actually a lot of things happened. It was all won by Righty Boy, again, same as in Japan, and I already created a rumor that he will go into the F4 division, it seems. Next it's actually F4, but there was no race actually due to Lobby crashing twice, and this meant we have to postpone this until the Easter break. F3 division was the most chaotic and eventful, and also the best race to watch, to be honest, in this weekend, because of many safety cars. and virtual safety cars and many plot twists, such as Unknown who was leading the race, but at the end did not even finish. Tobias is finishing his lap. He's going first with 1:19.8. So we'll continue with the F2 race, which was won by Wagner again, who is my teammate, by the way. Oh, there is a second Renault trying, it's Jagijan, to get a slipstream for slow Mercedes. Fofana improves his lap time to 1:19.6. He outscores Tobias. Max Shaw, the two times champions from season 3 and season 4, gets second place right now. Now Julian outscores them all with 1:19.2. The start of the race, it's full wet. Okay. This is going crazy. This is going to be crazy. The first part of the race, Max has written it in the chat, is full wet. Luke goes with 8th place with 1:19.9. Now Trasmike is going to finish his lap time. As he goes into the main straight. And Ninth. If you want to know some facts about Albert Park in ERO, it's 4th season in a row when Australian Grand Prix is in the calendar. But this is the first season, this is the second season actually. The first one since season 2, but second in general, when Australian Grand Prix doesn't make the start of the season. It's the second round today. The first one was Japan this in 2021 in season 5. Nelsham got second, but about the past season 2 eventful race, because of the wet weather, which caused many retirements, and Luke winning on his debut. Season 3 was even more eventful because we had so many safety cars and virtual safety cars. It crashes only 11 finishes, or even 10, including the last lap dive made by Plastable on Alnivore on the last corner of the race. Later on, Plastable got a penalty for that. Season 4, another eventful race, mostly known because of Max being spun out in the lap 1, recovering into P3, and on the lap 23 he crashed with his teammate Axe, which made him retire. Another eventful race, and Nurluzer as a sensational winner. Even though he was going pretty well all the round. Patrick meanwhile goes 7th with 1:19.7. We have yellow flag sector 3, it's Red Bull letting by its bread, yes. He's an Alpha Tauri right behind him, and it's probably Julian. Yeah, but Julian is on the in lap. 1:18 maybe. Well, 1:19.2 is in right now, the time made by Julian. So it's kind of realistic to say that we will have 1:18 something today in the qualifying session. But also I don't know what are the setups of the drivers, because we got to know that the race is full wet at the start. And this means drivers may have put wet setups, not the dry ones, losing a couple of tenths of a second. Meanwhile, Brett is stuck in the traffic, oh man, and this causes him a spin with one of the Alfa Romeo drivers. I don't know exactly which one. It's Maxro, who was slowing down Brett all the way. There was actually a place to let by, for example, going out of the track for a second, but this might be a penalty. This might be taken into investigation after the race, but Brett has to be a bit mad about that, and he has to make a lap again. Yellow flags in sector 2 again, but we're switching into Mercedes of Javier, who's crossing the line to get 5th with 1:19.6. Yellow flags in sector 3. There's an Alfa Romeo, but Axe has invalidated lap time. He will start it right now. Sully and his teammate Verstahouse are both on the out laps. What about the racing point? It's probably low key, yes. And we have also a McLaren in the track. Tandem starting a lap. He's 6th right now. I know I'm switching between the drivers so frequently. There is a Red Bull crossing the line, or it's just Brad pitting? It's Red Bull crossing the line because Chubb starts a lap. Fofana and Luke both on outlaps. Let us switch into the fitted tires. Everyone is on softs, and this is another proof that we have a wet start. Anyway, since I see there's 25 of you in here, I just remind you to help YouTube decide which race is the best by clicking the like button. Of course, if you enjoy, because you don't have to. I'm not forcing you, but you know what I'm talking about. Let's make a couple of likes. Meanwhile, Trustmike starts his hot lap. As we can also see a Mercedes right behind him, but it's Javier pitting Alfa Romeo. It's Axe finishing his lap time. Yep, Quicksilver. I'm watching Axe, he's going 5th. There's a Williams of Wester, who goes 14 with 120.0. There's also Loki, it was with an epic lap time. It's Loki with 119.4. And Racing Point is doing the same as they have done in Hungary in 2020 in the real F1 race when Perez and Stroll got 3rd and 4th in the qualifying session. There's also the fastest lap made by Champ, 119.1. Also, you can notify me if the sound of the game is actually correct, if you can hear me properly and stuff. Maybe I should lower my sound just a bit. Okay, it's good. Okay, there's already a sorry on the chat. Fofana makes the fastest lap of 1:18.8. This means that Ferrari was right on the Ferrari on chat. About 1:18 something lap times. Meanwhile, we have Sul in that sector 2. Ferrit finishes his lap. He's going as the slowest right now with 1:20.8, and he's coming into the pits, so this means he will not improve his lap. Maybe one of the Mercedes? No. Racing Point of Loki or Virzu? Virzu is finishing his lap. There's a Red Bull going into pits, or it's finishing a lap? Or actually starting a lap, because we have Brad. Williams is behind, so this probably means Sully, but he has invalidated lap time again. Okay, we're switching to Luke. Luke is finishing. No, he's coming to the pits. Okay. How is Lucas going? Because one of the 2 debut drivers today. He doesn't improve. 119.9 still. And we have Virzu, who also has finished the lap, but stays 4th. What about Julian? He starts a lap, I guess. Yes. Also, Maxo starts his hot lap. What about the Renaults? Tobias, Mercedes? Any Mercedes starting a lap? It's Javier. There is a Ferrari. I guess Spanor going slowly. But we are moving to Ricky, who's coming to the pits. What about Fred? Who's going to cross the line very soon. He is trying to fuel. Will he make it into the line without low fuel mode? The man who has won 2 races last season now gets 2nd place in the qualifying with 119.0. Fofana is in the pits, but he is literally wants to watch. We just hear you. There is no game of the sound. There is no sound of the game. Is it right? Right, let me see. There is a little bit going on with the... Okay, I can make probably... This will work. Well, I'm still on the testing case, testing stage, because it's only race 2 with the new stream features, like having those 3 signs at the top. Julian mean a good 2nd, or the scenes and stuff. You know, I'm using OBS for the 2nd time. I'm actually 3rd. I don't know. But for the professional... Okay, Max, so unless you're okay, he's not going slowly, I think it might be a warning for cutting the corners heavily. Mercedes of Patrick finishes the lap to go 4th with 119.1. And we have Red Bull of Red coming into the pits. What about Sully and Pricky? Are they going to do a lap? Well, Sully seems that he will start it right now. I don't think if he has any tire compounds left. There's an Alpha Tauri going also, but same as Max Show, they are in laps. Tobias goes with a hot lap. The F2 champion of last season is now using no ERS. Did he wait his lap time? I don't know, to be honest. There's a Haas behind him. It's probably Ferret. Who's pushing for the way better lap than 120.8. He's losing half of a second to second last Hayagishan. Okay, it sounds fine. I trust you. If you think I should trust you, hit the like button. Meanwhile, Ferret improved by 0.4 of a second. So, Pricky is on the out lap, Patrick is on the in lap with low fuel mode. This means he has to go to the pits. What about Ferraris? Look on the out lap. Sully is finishing the lap. No, he's not. He has only one more time. And he crashes into the wall in the last corner. This might mean some difficulties for the other drivers. That was a heavy crash. We have 2 minutes left. Ferret cuts the corner again. Meanwhile, Pricky invalidates his lap time. And Fufana goes on the out lap. This means one more time he tries. And this is the man to watch. He hasn't scored a single point in Japan, but it doesn't mean he has no potential for that. Well, you told Sul to wake up. He retired from the qualifying. Pricky starts a lap. I'm just going to check what is the best Sector 1 made by Fufana. It's 26.1, so this is kind of a sector. Ferret also retired, I see. Probably no more tire compounds. Ricky goes 2 tenths slower than Fufana. This means he'll be somewhere at the middle of the pack, I guess. Thanks. Jurgen, I guess, or Jurgen, correct me. Yagishan goes P14 with 119.9, but Lucas is finishing his lap time. So let's stay with the pole. He has Javier right ahead. As he locks up into turn 15. Now he goes onto the main straight. And can he improve his lap time? He does. It goes 10th with 119.5. That's a decent lap time for David Driver. We have more and more drivers coming for the outlaps. Meanwhile, Pricky has done 120.0. Yellow flags in Sector 1. But it's somebody letting by, or it's just Ferret or Lucas. It's Lucas, actually. Also, we have the Racing Point spawn. It's Loki, who will not improve his lap time. And the session, this means he will start at best from 10th place. Fufana and Patrick will not make their laps in time. Or actually, they have gone into the pits. It's the closest to the line, it's Luke. And he doesn't improve. What about Mercedes? Javier seems to still go with the lap time. And oh, that was a very close call. Little bit more spinning, and he would end up into the wall. Yellow flag sector 3, and he crashes again. This means he didn't make it on the he didn't make it turn 12, the infamous turn 12. he does it now. Julian gets the pole position with 180.839. Very close to Fofana. Let's see the gaps, actually. Maxro is not going to finish. What about Pricky? Pricky is finishing his lap time with very little fuel, and he doesn't improve. Lucas goes to the pits, Tobias to ERS. And I think that the qualifying session is ended. Julian gets the pole position with 118.8. Alongside him, we will see Fofana, who has 118.82. This equals with an eventful race and very equal grid, because from P1 to P15 it's like a second. Oh. So we have a family watching. That's very nice. Jolan gets the job done with pole position. Alongside him once again, it's Fofana. Then Vilzu has beaten Brett by 3,000 of a second to get third place in the grid. Then we have Patrick, Maxro, Champ, Axe, Tamtam and Loki in the top 10. Outside of it, there are Tobias, Lucas, Javier, Wester, Luke, Yagishan, Trustmike, Pricky, Ferret and Sully. Yagish and Ferret will have a tough challenge today, starting from 16th and 19th. They also can do my strategy because I tend to go last to first. Maybe this time, maybe these days not as often as in the past. But who knows? Now it's formation lap time. Well, what are your predictions in the chat? Except that there's a heavy rain. And Maxro was not kidding. Oh, this means event. This means eventful race. This means very eventful race. I mean, I hope so. I very much hope so. Alright. It's time to start the race 2. Is the lobby stuck? No, it's just Virtus slowing us down. Oh no! Please not. Okay, there is no restart. There is no restart at least. Well, I was afraid about that the lobby will be restarted, but it's not. It was just a bit of delay made by Virtu. And even though Maxwell told us about the full wet tires, everyone is going on inters. You can see it's very slippery out there, even though it's formation lap. Tires are not as hot, as not an optimal temperature as they should be. They are sliding so much. Everyone is on inter tires. Well, I don't think so. It might be even for a full wet weather. 30 people on the broadcast. Welcome everyone. Hope you will stay until the end of the race. We actually are calling our record of people on the stream. So if you invited some, it would be even better to get the new record of people. I just wonder how's the weather going to be later on the race? Because if you will change your tires at the right time, you will gain a lot of places and time. So it all depends on the strategy right now. Who is better in doing this? Is it going to be Fofana or Julia? Or maybe Virzu will surprise us all, as he got 2 third places in his F1 career and also championship in F2 season 3. New record of people? Yes, it is! 32! And 33 even. Let's go. right before the start of the race. I think I might hide the tires because everyone is on inters. We don't care. So, we're about to start the Australian Grand Prix. The round 2. I already get some flashbacks from season 2, but hope this race will be even better. Sully now approaches the grid. Right ahead of him there are Ferry, De Souza and Bricky. And we'll be starting this race very soon. There are going to be red lights. But the question is when, because we also have the glitch that there's a delay of few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are starting the round 2 of season 5. And it's Australian Grand Prix. We can already see that Julian has got a pretty decent start in these wet conditions. Vilsu goes for the second place. It's a great start made by him. Brett is third. We have already some incident at the back and we knew that. We knew it will happen because of the rainy, tricky conditions. Meanwhile, Vilsu tries to go for the lead into turn 3. He was alongside Julian, but he goes behind Fufana, gets out of the track. Probably missed the braking point. There's a chaos going on here. But this is typical for the wet conditions. Julian keeps the lead, but Vilsu is very, very close. We are heading into the sector 2. Where we still have Julian in the first place. He uses overtakes, same as Vilsu probably gets a bit more power due to that ERS. But we'll continue into turn 12. I hope nobody will crash in there. Yellow flags in sector 2. It's Ferry going slowly. Whoa, there is a massive action going on. Literally 6 cars fighting. And Javier is already spun out even though he had a decent qualifying session. Ferry slows down. And we have 5 drivers, 6 even fighting. Power position number 12. They are going alongside in turn 12. Sully tries to make a move on Luke. We are watching this from Champ's point of view. And now Sully goes down the inside into turn 13. And he makes the job done. And he goes ahead. We will actually stay with this battle. As it's going to be very tight. Tricky goes alongside. Yagishan, I have seen some debris going on there. Yagishan heads into the pits. Same as Champ. Rest stays on the track. Probably Javier will pit too after being taken out. He does. This is the place where in season 3 he crashed with Drunkenstein. 36, wow. Where he crashed with Javier crashed with Drunkenstein going into the pits because Drunkenstein was afraid of the pit limiter. I'm just saying the facts that happened, don't worry. Vilsu tries to chase Julian, who does a minor mistake. This might cost him around a 10th or 12th of a second. He's literally sliding on this track. And Brett is chasing both of them. That means we have 3 or maybe even 4 with Patrick. Battle for the victory. Vilsu still loses 6/10 of a second. He hit the curb but manages to pull away. As we're heading into turn 13 again, there is a group of drivers fighting right behind Maxro for the 7th. So we have actually 3 groups of drivers on Albert Park today. We will not have DRS in this race because it's wet conditions. This means the drivers will not get more speed on the straights. Julian still does the fastest lap of the race. Is there anyone to outscore him? And also, is this going to be a second win in a row? Well, there are still 26 laps to go. So, we will watch it. We'll follow the action. Luke already gets the first penalty of this race with 3 seconds. Fufana fights Loki into turn 4. as Loki tries to get ahead, but still going alongside with Fofana. What a battle is this? And Lucas is following and hoping to find a bit of gap to get ahead of both and not being stuck in the fight. We started watching this battle in turn 3, which also doesn't bring nice mentions and memories for Loki, because he got taken out by Luke on the last lap of the race there. But Loki seems to be a bit faster than Fofana, fighting for the 9th place. He will go around the outside. No, it's literally impossible to fight in this chicane. But he still gets a good pull away. Let's see if this affects the battle. As he goes ahead of Fofana, also Lucas will try to go. Loki goes into the grass, losing the place not only to Fofana but also to the Polish driver, who now gets 10th. Yellow flag to sector 2, it's Javier spinning. Julian does the fastest lap. Yellow flag to sector 3, this means something is happened at the back. Julian manages to pull away from Virzu by over a second. And the rain is not lowering at any time. Luke goes into the pits. As Loki tries to dive into turn 3 on Lucas, but that was way too far to try. Trasmike is following the battle. Then another one hoping to find a bit of a gap. Meanwhile, we didn't realize that Tobias is going pretty well with 8th place. His second F1 race, the F2 champion, proves that it is worth it to get him. It was worth it to get him into F1, at least as a reserve. He goes pretty well. We're heading into turn 11 and turn 12 again. We'll stay with this battle, even though Brett seems to catch wheels a bit, and maybe there will be a little bit of fighting between them. As this time, Brett goes on the main straight right behind the Finnish driver. He has a bit of slipstream on the straights, but dirty on the corners, and there are pros and cons of going right behind someone. He's still getting closer and closer. Look, he was 7/10 of a second behind, and at the beginning of sector 3. Now he's like only half of a second, even 4/10 from time to time. Of course, these sections he will be a bit further, so he gets the 3-second time penalty. And we'll be moving into Lucas fighting the man who got 2nd place in the qualifying. Fofana has got a pretty good start. He dropped a couple of places from 2nd to 9th at 7, as I remember. Let the game improve me. Yes, it's 7 positions down. Into turn 9 and turn 12 and turn 10 we go. And Tobias is chasing 2 times champion Lucas with a little moment, sliding a bit, but fortunately no damage for the Polish driver. Got another little moment. Brett, actually we can say that Virzu escaped from him a bit, and Javier is already going to be lapped. Even though he had a pretty good qualifying session. Let me prove it's right. Yes, 13th place, it isn't the worst. He's now going to be lapped by the leaders. This race is a real struggle for the Italian. And also Loki chases Lucas into turn 1, but still stays too far to think about attacking. Now he uses the overtake mode. He is faster right now, it seems. Pricky gets the 5-second time penalty for spinning in the pit lane, but still not able to overtake the Haas driver. And oh, another moment of a drift made by the pole, but manages to stay ahead. Alright, TamTam is very close to Axe by around 6/10 of a second. This means he might go for an attack in the incoming laps. And is it just me, or the rain is a bit lighter? Like ideal for the winter conditions, not the whites. I think it might be. Barrett stays half of a second behind Wested. This means he might attack pretty soon. As Javier is the first one to retire from the session, but he does it in the pits. So there's no chance of safety car. Vilzu gets the fastest lap of the race, meanwhile. The drivers from top 4 are literally in the around a second to each other. We have Ferret, who's going pretty well in wet conditions. Starting to gain to Wester, but also Loki will try to go down the inside of Lucas. No! There was almost a contact between them. But the Racing Point driver still stays at the 11th place. Meanwhile, in the top 3, nothing changes, but TamTam stays on the same gap as he had a lap before. And I just wonder what is the weather right now, when it's going to be dry, because I don't know if we'll have a full wet race or there will be a dry part. It seems the rain is a bit lower comparing to the start. Well, it is. Maybe it will finish in 5 to 10 minutes. I guess if there was TRS enabled right now, like dry conditions, we would see drivers mainly going for hards or mediums, but there is a risk they will finish like Sniper Arctic in F2 division, getting a puncture on penultimate lap. Same as me in Japan, but it was dry all the way. As it is spread less than a second to Vilzu, but you can see the rain is much lower comparing to what it was at the start of the race. I think it's going to disappear pretty soon. In lap 12 to 13, Yakishan gets the fastest lap of the race on his Inters. Well, I think that the changeable conditions are going to also change the standings of this race, and we'll see some drivers from the back at the top for at least a moment. As everybody from top 3 is going peacefully, same as literally the top 6. There's a bit of a gap between TamTam and Meister. It's over 4 seconds. The Season 4 and Season 3 champion is struggling since he got the championship in Hungary, which was also the race where he did not score a single point. When we will see him back on the podium, this is the question actually. Julian already decides to pit. I guess it might be a wing damage, or I don't know. He doesn't seem to have a puncture. He just changes to new Inters. It's so early, to be honest. But we'll see the next drivers coming to the pits. Yes, it's his teammate Transmike. They're going to do a double stack. Look at another 3-second time penalty. Wester still is being chased down by Ferit, but still the Turkish cannot overtake. Transmike goes for new Inters. So, you're right, girl. You're right. Lucas been like lost the place to Loki, it seems. Struggling in the wet conditions. Luke gets the fastest lap of the race now. And now Lucas is going to be chased by Sully, but Sully has a penalty, which might affect his race result at the end. Lucas, meanwhile, gets the first penalty today, so himself and Sully have the same amount of seconds being awarded. And guess who we have at the lead of the race? It's Virzu. Kind of surprising thing in F1 division. He's going pretty well, fighting for the 5th, 6th place. But it's kind of unusual to see him in first place. He got 2 podiums in F1, and in third season he got the championship, but in F2 division he's going better and better with the fastest lap of the race. This might be one of the best performances of him in entire career. Meanwhile, Mike struggles the fastest lap, and he gained a second, comparing to when we last time witnessed him. Sully goes into the pits, like there's no puncture again. And his teammate was the house, same as house driver Ferret, will go both ahead of him. And Brett chases Virzu. Jagijan with new fastest lap of the race with 1:34.6. Does it mean the conditions are getting better and better? Or is it just drivers getting more used into to this track? 0.7 of a second separate Virzu and Brett. This means a close battle between them in the incoming laps. Patrick cannot close to them, since he's always like 1.8, 1.9, 2 seconds behind. We'll switch to battle for 10th, as Julian seems to be faster than Lucas and might get him very soon into 10th place. Brett gets with the fastest lap, and he's around 1 second behind. What is also surprising that even though there is lap 11, we have seen no retirements like by crashing, only Javier. But he has retired in the pits. Almost a second behind Virzu. Still as the Red Bull driver named Brad. And we follow Julian, who was leading the race for a couple of laps since the start. Is now chasing the Haas driver of Lucas. Sully with another 3-second time penalty. As now the Dutch gets way better exit. I don't think he will attack that soon, but maybe he goes down the inside into turn 9 and 10, and he goes ahead of Lucas, pushing him a bit out of the track. But I think it's kind of a racing incident. Move made by Julian into 10th place. Already Lucas 1.7 behind. Mostly due to that incident, but Julian also picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Meanwhile, Brett goes into the pits. Like, how long the Inters are supposed to survive? He's going for a new Inters. Jagishan gets the 3-second time penalty. And we're switching to battle between Wester and Ferret. They stay on the same positions, nothing changes. What about Trasmek and Sully? Sully seems like to chase Trasmek with 1 lap pressure tires. 1 lap old, of course. They are going into the main straight, and Trasmek has pulled away. The gap between Virzu and Patrick is around 3 seconds. The rain is going lighter and lighter. It's very light comparing to what was in the start of the race. So, does it mean dry conditions at the race, or are we going to have wet again? Fufana seems to be a bit of slow. Because Loki tries to go ahead of him, he doesn't have any damage, so Fanas is struggling, basically. Maybe he has ult in Tess, but Loki hasn't done a pit stop yet. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a puncture going very soon. Patrick goes into the pits, the rest stays on the track. I think that the French driver in the Ferrari will pit very soon. And am I right? No, he fights. Champ gets the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As now ahead of, behind Fuso there is Axe in the second place. Yellow flags in sector 2 and it's a spin of Tricky. I don't know what's going on. But he seems to have a wing damage. He might have turned the wall. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. But he has to change his front wing. As he goes very slowly into turn 13. That's right, now we have yellow flags in sector 3. It's Pricky again. I switched to him, he has no front wing at all. And it seems he will retire very soon. Well, is he going to the pits? He goes, but he cannot even make it. What a struggle for the Dutch driver this evening. He goes, fortunately, but he's also lapped by the leader of the race, who is Vilsu. Axe goes into the pit. Vilsu seems to have a great tire management. Meanwhile, Pricky retires from the session. Tautam has to go one more lap at least. Sully gets 3-second time penalty. There's a pit window open for intermediate tires, so I might think something had to happen. I don't know what to say. For Julian, for Trustmike, like for the drivers who have pitted early, and around lap 9-10, 9 or lap 10. I don't know if Vilsu or Loki or Tobias are going to keep these tires until the end of the race. Meanwhile, we forgot that Lucas has gone into the pits, is it right? Yes. Will he overtake Fufana? Yes. He's now ahead of the Ferrari. So we are switching back to Union and Loki. As right now the gap between them is very close and Julian has to keep in mind, but that Brett is also chasing. Now the question is, if the tires of Vizu or Tamtam or Max or Tobias or Loki will survive until the dry conditions, if there will be some. Yellow flags sector 2, it's Williams of Sully being spun. We can see that on the minimap. He'll probably get back to racing very soon. He's right behind Luke. Meanwhile, Vilsu and Maxro are both pitting. Maxro has got a new tire, same as Vilsu, they are both in test. And Low and Vilsu loses the place not only to Julian but also to Brett. Still stays ahead of Patrick. Yellow flags in sector 3, it's Sully going slowly, letting by his teammate. Meanwhile, Julian tries to make a move on Loki. Round the outside, he's pushed off the track by a little bit, and this cost him an opportunity to attack the Racing Point driver. Yellow flags in sector 3 again, it's Sully struggling again. He's coming to the pits, or he decides to do so. And he, oh, what it was, the kind of bottle into the pits. He retires on the session. This is the third retirement of this Grand Prix. Julian almost spins. We're trying to get Loki, and also, so this cost him a place, because you can see that Brett is going alongside him into turn 11-12. And the British driver gets ahead and takes the provisional lead, because we need to calculate that Loki, Tobias and Tamtam will all go to the pit. But Julian fights back into turn 13. No, he stays behind. Stays behind, prefers not to attack very soon. He might also prepare some kind of a move. And the next lap. Because Julian knows that Loki is going kinda slowly. And also, Loki is doing a great job for his teammate Vilzu. And the finish is now right behind the top two. The provisional top two. And also Patrick has gained a second. And also Julian gets out of the track. Sully has left the session. And Vilzu goes ahead of him. So there was a little mistake made by the Dutch driver. I can see it on the replay, which is around the 10 seconds delay. It was a mistake made by the Alpha Tauri. And Vilzu gets ahead. A great race for the Finn, who has got only 2 podiums so far. Is it going to be a third one? Anyways, look how close everyone is on the grid. The gap between the leader and the last place is 47 seconds. But, including only the provisional leader, remove the 9 seconds, you have like 39. There's battling everywhere. Who's the first lap, by the way? It's Patrick. It seems that the rain is again getting lower in his strength and its strength. As Tam decides not to pit, same as Loki and Tobias. And Loki gets a pretty poor exit, which might cause Brett attacking him into turn 1, or it's still a bit far away. It's still a bit away. But remember that Vilzu is chasing the Red Bull for the provisional lead of the race. Meanwhile, we are going to include that Vilzu is going down the inside of Brett, and there's a contact. He's taken out, and also he crashes with Julian. Oh, and that Patrick takes the second place right now. I don't know what to say about that, but it was a piece of an incident. You can watch it back and tell me who do you think is at fault, because I think that Julian might have a wing damage. Let us see this. Patrick gets it the second place out of nowhere, but he also has wing damage. He also left part of his front wing. They are going wheel to wheel into turn 11 almost. This is right behind, literally sitting on his gearbox. As right now Patrick seems to be a bit slower than the Finn. He's going to be a bit angry at Brett right now. As now he goes wheel to wheel with Patrick again. Now he might take the 5th place. He takes it, he does it so. And Julian goes ahead of the Romanian as well. Brett still stays right behind Loki, who has only one task: to block Brett as long as possible, to make Vilzu get closer to both of them. Why? Because of the fight of the victory. Now Brett uses the overtake ERS mode. This might end right now, or maybe not. Jagiellan in the pits. Loki still goes ahead of Brett into turn 4, and he goes ahead. He still stays at front of the Red Bull driver. This means Vilzu is closed up by another 7/10 of a second. They're going wheel to wheel into turn 6, and still Brett is behind Loki, and also it equals with an opportunity to attack for the racing point. Is Vilzu going to be ahead of Brett? No. Reminder that Vilzu won F2 championship in Red Bull, where Brett is right now. As Julian also joins back the battle, Patrick and Axel also interested to gain a couple of places. Julian gets another penalty. Loki is doing great job, insane one for Racing Point, to keep Vilzu as close as possible to Brett. Now Loki goes down the inside into turn 15. Maxwell gets a penalty. There might be a little contact between Brett and the Brit and his countryman. Meanwhile, Loki goes into the pits. I know I'm kinda chaotic right now, but it's hard to say about lots of things happening. Loki has given up about his tires. Maybe he got a puncture, I don't know. Or maybe a wing there to change. Now Axel will try to go on the move on Patrick because the Romanian has a damaged front wing. It's like minorly. You can see the right side. I think it's minor wing damage. The rain seems to stay at the same stage as it was 10 laps ago. Remember that Julian has a couple of penalties. He's going to lose a place or two. Check Brett's warning, please. Like, I don't think I will. Because I want more excitement. Same as in F3 there was a request for penalties, but Champ wanted to keep it more exciting. Like, I don't know what to do right now. Should I show you the penalties and warnings? Also, we might miss action. Axel literally sitting at the back of Patrick. Is the Mercedes driver going to still defend his 6th place? Or will he be overtaken? This is the question also. Because this is vital for the fight for 3rd step on the podium. Remember that Axel lost it by 25,000 of a second in Britain last season. Brett goes 2nd, overtaking Tobias. Can you hear anything at the background? I hope no. Okay, you can't. So, Virzu gets ahead of Tobias into turn 3. Another nicely done move. And Julian is now stuck behind the Renault. Reminder that TomTom is still leading the race. Are his tires going to survive until the finish line? Lucas with 3-second tire penalty. As now Julian has to be faster than Tobias if he wants to keep up to the pack of top 2. And he overtakes Tobias. Virzu and Brett are again on danger. Jakjan then overtakes his countryman Ferrit into 16th. It isn't a great race for him. But we could see that on dry conditions he's going pretty well with no ABS, which is kind of a fresh experience for him. He got 5th, now he's at the back, but remember that rain has stopped! Okay. This makes me wonder if the drivers will go for the softs or medium tires. I think that going on softs until the end is kind of reasonable. And TomTom! Oh, Brett almost spun. TomTom! Is he going to survive one more 2 laps? With these inter tires, he's probably very close to get a puncture. He's 4 seconds ahead. If third tier is enabled as soon as humanly possible, he might even win this race out of nowhere, starting from 9th. Remember that Brett and Virzu are busy with chasing each other, same as Julian. This might be the greatest tactics for TomTom, but remember he struggled so much that he lost another second. He's losing so much. Another 3 tenths are gone. He has to push on the straights and pray for that he will not get a single puncture. We're literally all boat with him. Axel overtakes Tobias, who hasn't got one yet. As we continue watching the Belgian driver who's less than 2 seconds ahead of Brett right now, he's literally 1.5. He's really struggling. I think he'll pit next lap, if not now. When is the RS going to be enabled? Max overtakes Patrick for the 7th. Tobias will also probably go just one more lap. Brett gets the fastest lap of the race. This shows how it matters for him to get downtown before the pits. Less than 1 second. Literally everyone is chasing. As downtown even doesn't go with a half throttle into turn 5. Brett is going to be alongside him into turn 10 probably. Or even faster. As he's now 3 tenths behind. Is he going to make any move? Not now, but it seems the next straight it's going to be his leadership. Downtown still fights. Let's see who will get ahead into turn 11 and 12. It's going to be Downtown still. Max overtakes Tobias meanwhile. But they're switching back to the top 3. Alongside Downtown is again the British driver. Is he going to keep the lead for a couple of corners? Like, Downtown is not intentionally, but doing a great job for Vils and Julian. Keep them close to Brett. Downtown goes to the pit. Is it crossover or is it too early for the pit? He was very close to get a great strategy. Let's see, he goes for soft tires. The track is drying. Yellow flags in sector 3. It's a Red Bull Alfa Romeo spun. It's Lucas. Lucas is out of the track with the damaged front wing. Yellow flags in sector 1 as well. As Ferret is spun. Disaster for both classes. Yellow flags in sector 2, but this is Ferret retiring. Lucas and Loki have changed front wing. I'm going to the pits. Lucas with the penalty. Lucas retires, even though this race wasn't going too bad for him. Until the spin. Is Downtown going to win or will keep he losing? Meanwhile, you can see Patrick and Tobias fighting for the 6. And when is DRS going to be enabled? This is the most important question right now. Brett and Wilson still keep fighting. Downtown has pitted. It wasn't the best decision. He's losing to Fofana, and Wilson tries to take the lead of those Challenge Grand Prix lap 24. He gets ahead of Brett. They're still alongside. Into turn 2. Yellow flags is turn 3. Champ is spun. And Wilson takes the lead. It might be the first victory. This is possible. He's now 3 tenths ahead of Brett. Yellow flags in sector 3. Champ keeps struggling. He has damaged front wing. As also Tobias gets out of the pit, probably into softs. I have seen also Loki fighting Champ wheel to wheel. Downtown keeps losing. This means the track is not ready for softs. It also includes massive strategy battle. Luke overtakes Yakizhan into 11th place. Yellow flags in sector 3. Champ goes into the pits. Loki struggles. Vils, after being stuck for over 20 laps behind Brett, takes the lead. It's 5 laps to go. And he might even win this race. Champ into the pits. Is there going to be retirement or will he keep fighting? Reminder that Vils said Brett might pit. Also Fofana, he struggled so much. Let's see the tires. The oldest ones belong to Luke, who's on 20 laps old Inters. And he is probably struggling so much. More and more drivers are going on the softs. Even though it doesn't pay off since you can see Town has over 10 seconds. Even though he just started gaining, since you can see track is literally dry. With very little water in this. The best one on the softs is Town with ninth place. And Fufana seems to get closer to Trustmake. West overtakes Tobias. This means the track isn't ready for soft tires yet. Fufana is ahead of Trustmake. Who? Wait, he has the puncture! Trustmake has got the first puncture of this race. And he is now struggling just to get into the pits. With the 5th gear, yellow taxi sector 2. It's for the Dutch driver, whose tire has blown up. The rear left tire is gone. We're heading... How old are his tires, by the way? Yellow taxi sector 2 and 3. There is Max lapping Julian. Oh, there is a spin of Julian. Who's... Wait. Who's got the puncture as well? Both of AlphaTauris have got their race ruined. Brett goes into the pits. Come on, what is going on with this race? Even though the standings are very glitchy, same as cameras. I mean, Trustmike is got a puncture. Brett might has also got a puncture as well. This means Vils will now struggle for the victory. 6 seconds ahead of Maxro. Sorry, Axe. 3.5 ahead of Max. With 4 laps to go, Trustmike manages to get into the pits. Do you say Vils needs to pit now? I think, Oliver, you're right. If he wants to at least keep his podium. I don't know how this race will finish. DRS is officially enabled. It equals with being forced to go to the pits. Let's see the gap. 24 seconds. It isn't the worst. He's at least seconds. If the rest of top 5 pits, he has to pit. I mean, will he? He does. This is probably the only chance for him to win. And he manages not to get a penalty, even though you have seen 62 kilometers per hour. It's not a penalty. Julian gets 3 seconds. Axe and Max are doing a double stack. Patrick is also pitting, same as Fofana. And now it's going to be very tight between Brett and the French. And the finish. Virsu manages to get ahead. And Brett is second. Fofana tries to stay on in the tires with the 3rd place. Brett now has DRS. He's now losing 0.2 of a second. Vils also uses all of his power. As Brett stays behind. Fofana seems to struggle. But his tires are still alive. Since he has them 13 laps old. Jackson has them 9 laps old. Westerhout pits. Trustmake has got new inters. So it was the best decision. Loki gets the fastest top of the race. Brett locks up heavily. This is now or never for Virsu to win a Grand Prix in the RF1. The only chance. Now or never. Like Cruz Ramirez right ahead of getting out of the pits in cars 3. It's literally now or never. Loki gets the 3-second time penalty. Axe overtakes Fofana. Who's got a puncture? Another puncture. It's, as I calculated properly, it's 3rd puncture of today's race. From the podium to literally nothing. Fofana, oh, there is a spin again. Right behind him there is a Maxro. We are switching to the battle between the 2 leaders. Fofana with the 3-second time penalty. Brett is half of a second behind. He is still behind. Well, TamTam's tires are finally started to pay off, but he has pitted like 3 laps too early. We are going through turns 6 and 7. Luke gets another 3 seconds. As right now we can already see a sun shining. This means the track will get drier and drier if there's any water in it remaining. 2/10 of a gap. Patrick overtakes Tobias for the 8th place. That's right, I'm switching off this panel. Max with 3-second time penalty. This might cost him the 4th place, which was very strong, and is also out of the track with a damaged front wing. TamTam manages to get ahead of him. Last lap of the race. Brett gets the fastest lap right after Vilsu. We have only 5.5 kilometers left. Vilsu is very close to victory and except for the first podium of the season. Julian also gets the fastest lap. Oh my god, how Vilsu has to be stressed. Even I'm stressed because it has been 5 seasons. Maybe there was an F2 championship, but it was F2. It's time for the F1. Brett is still chasing. Has he got any power remaining to get Vilsu? Wester with the fastest lap of the race now. What about the Ferrari? Of the look behind, nothing. As now Brett uses all his power. Will he get ahead of the racing point? This is literally the first time. It has been a great start of the season for the racing point. Since Loki got 3rd place after intense pressure in Japan. Vils also got a couple of points. But now it's time for the Finnish driver to become a first ever Finnish winner of ERO F1. Vils also has done the fastest lap of the race of 1:26.4. Yellow flags in sector 3, I don't know what the reason is, but Vilsu has done it for the first time ever. Also, TamTam gets ahead of Julian into 4th place, right behind the lap jump. Patrick 6th, Maxwell 7th. Jagijan struggled with Inters, got overtaken by Fofana on the last lap of the race. And Tobias finishes in 10th but gets 8th. Wester is going to finish P12. Luke P13. And Trust Mike P14. His train has crashed. I hope he has a record at least. Trust Mike finishes out of the points with P14. What a poor result. I mean, he had a chance. Maxwell has left. Like, every time there is an epic moment for Wilson, something has to happen. And Baku it was our stream crashing and he didn't save a record. Now? It's his stream crashing, let me see. No, there's a not random Vilsu. I mean, the Vilsu I don't know. Oh my goodness me. Oh my god. Vilsu has done it for the first time ever. And I'm joining the Discord call, I hope. Like, I mean, this is one of the best races ever. No doubt, it's very close to Italia S3. Man, what it was, I mean, it was special. It was completely special. Like the story that won't repeat for Vilzu. This is hell of a thing. Oh my. I'm switching into the conference room because possibly the best race ever. Where is move to? There you go. Now it should work. Hello, the first podium sitter. Wait, I will improve your settings. I will also turn down the sound of the game.
Do you hear me?
Yes, but I need to change settings in the game. So it's very poor, but I will fix it very soon.
I don't understand what you say.
Just give me a moment, simply.
Okay.
Audio. We go with sound 0. Done. I think I should hear you better now.
Hello. It's better.
Now.
Just wait 2 minutes. I turn off my PC and I join the vocal.
Okay. No
I
problem.
come back.
Okay. I will move you.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we want Vilsu and Brett in the room because Brett cannot join soon. I mean, Axel will be back soon. And Oliver, you told me something about his stream crashing, but I have seems to find a point of view. I'm not going to reveal it yet, so I will listen to it myself only. I hope you will not hear it. But yeah, I'm turning off the audio of myself too. So, what a race. Let me do this. Okay, the sound is back. Who has joined us? Vils.
So.
And there is Brett.
Good afternoon, good morning, Merry Christmas.
The question is if you can hear us in the stream. And if you ask about the echo, it's Brett.
Is it?
Yeah, you have a little one.
Is it better?
Let me try. A little bit lighter, but we'll have to struggle with that.
Sorry, it's your fault for doing this stupid fucking Discord.
Vilsu, do you have any reaction? Please.
So, okay, now I'm here. Nice.
Well, I think you can hear us on the stream.
I can hear you.
My first question is, do you have reaction this time? Please save the record, please.
I saved the clip.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Like, I mean, the first question has to go to the winner because Brett, I will mute you for a second due to having an echo. I will ask you soon, but Virtu, the first question to myself to yourself is, how did you make it?
How did I make it? Like, but anyway, first thing is just that I can hear my voice on someone's speaker, so it's very annoying to.
It's Brett, so you can. He disconnected, but he'll probably be back soon.
Now I can hear my voice. So the question is, how did I make it? Well, basically, I practiced this morning for Australia, and I was very surprised about my qualifying pace in the glide. It was starting from the third position. It was very, very amazing feeling to start. My reaction for the quali result was also worth it. And yeah, when I saw the rain forecast in the rain, I expected that this is going to be for me a good win. This is going to be like a podium day for me, and it worked out very perfectly. At the first stint with the intermediate, this was very very tight to go to the end with the old inters, but I decided to pit like the others did, and it worked perfectly. And doing the undercut on Brett on the slicks worked as well pretty much, and I was very pressurized by that the bread almost got overtaking me because I know he's very fast on dry weather, and I'm not the best driver in dry. I'm much better in wet, but seems like it worked. And ERS development and fuel management was very perfect. And yeah, redemption from the last season. 3 laps to go before the finish line. In last season, I crashed after the safety car restart, and now the great redemption. It all happens in just in a blink of an eye. But anyway, I have to say thanks for everyone who has supported me on the stream chat, fans from Finland, the close friends, and also family and great friends, and also admins, you Wojis and Adam as well, and also whole Aero F1 community. Thank you for the support. I really appreciated this moment.
Well, to be honest, I shouted for the first time since I don't know. It was Italian Grand Prix because I cannot remember more.
My first win was from Italy Season 3 F2 division, but like this is my first ever win in F1.
Now we are heading to Axe. Well, because to be honest, you're kinda out of the camera. You're kinda out of the first plan.
Yeah.
And there's a crack from Vilsu. Vilsu, you're cracking
Am I cracking?
a bit.
Oh, I think my because I don't have headphones, I'm talking to the laptop speaker, so
Yeah,
it's what different.
yeah. Basically to Axe, because I told about being kind of the second plan. Was this race eventful for you? If there is anything to notice about it, or it's just a great tire strategy you want to tell us?
Mm, yeah, my quali was not that I expect. I think I make a little mistake that's cost me 2 tenths. I think so. Start P8 or P9, I think. I don't remember. And after, yes, I try to find the dry will come faster, and that's not happened. So I decided to pit, and yeah, I I how I can say, I profit. I don't know if you understand profit, but
I mean, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
yeah, okay, nice. I profit the mistake of Patrick and Julian with wing damage, so I success to pass, and after I try to push. I expect that Vilsu don't don't come to pit and to put soft and try to catch, but he made a good strategy and congrats to him.
So I mean, this was a piece of a race. I wonder if Virtu has anything else to say. Virtu,
Ask again.
anything to say else?
Uh, well, about that I'm saying that I'm not worthy for F1 division. Well, those kind of speeches can be forgotten forever now because this division is now very stacked of very brilliant drivers. Everyone has their weaknesses on some tracks and like these kind of fast circuits such as Brazil, Australia, and so on are my my favorite. So yes, actually actually I'm very happy and very appreciated and very, how do I say it? It is my privilege to be in the F1 division with these very good drivers and clean racing. I really wanted to that the Alfa Romeo duo would have gave us a little bit of competition in this race, but nah. Luckily, there was not much of a carnage, but I must say, Axel, now that I'm really happy of your performance from these first two races, and you have now 2-0 against Maxro, so I guess you are
Yeah.
not a Bottas anymore. You're not. You're not a
Yeah,
Bottas.
he crashed the car once again. It's not good for Alfa Romeo. What he did.
Uh,
No, I joke. I,
eh,
yeah. Thank you, Vilsu.
thank you as well. Thank you as well.
Basically, we'll not see Brett in this conference due to his technical issues, but I think that's the end of of this live stream, which was, to be honest, do you think it was top 10 races in the history? Any?
Mm.
Like top 10 race.
Well, this is a tough question, to be honest.
I have to ask you, Wojtinho,
Anyways,
your opinion.
thank you for watching, and we will see you next week in Singapore. Again,
Hmm.
the same squad.
Nice.
Well, I hope so. Anyways, five divisions or six will be streamed, and yeah, see you next week in Singapore.